A Russian man and his young son are about to continue sailing around the world after surviving 6 months adrift. They damaged the steering mechanism of their yacht in the Indian Ocean and survived by eating raw fish and drinking rainwater. Eventually, they were washed ashore on the island of Phuket in Thailand, from where David Willis reports.
Theirs is a truly remarkable survival story. Father and son's dream of sailing round the world in a yacht they built themselves very nearly cost them their lives. For 6 months, they say, they survived by drinking rainwater and eating raw fish caught using a television aerial as a spear. The problems began when their yacht hit an unknown object in the Indian Ocean, damaging the engine and communications equipment and leaving them drifting without power. It wasn't long before their food supplies dried up. After months with no sight of land, the pair were washed up on this beach and taken to hospital, where they've since been treated for malnutrition. The father is less than half the weight he was when they set out on the voyage.
I spent years building the boat. It seemed so romantic to sail around the world and a means of escape from our hard lives back in Russia. After the accident, we were lucky to eat 1 meal a day.
After months without a glimpse of dry land, they are now guests on this tropical island, to the bemusement of some of its Western visitors.
I think it's a very extraordinary story. But I must say, if I'd been through something like that, I could hardly have wished for a better place to end up than Phuket.
Apparently undaunted by their ordeal, the pair plan to spend the next few weeks patching up their craft before setting sail on the long journey home. Barring further incident, it's south from here to Australia and then on to Russia, where they're guaranteed a hero's welcome. David Willis, BBC News, Phuket, southern Thailand.
Golf and South Africa won the Dunhill Cup for the first time by defeating Sweden in the final at St Andrews. Earlier in the semi-final with America, Sweden's Joachim Häggman scored a world record equalling 9 under par 27 over the first 9 holes. In the final, though, Häggman lost to Ernie Els as South Africa won the match 2-1. Els and teammates Retief Goosen and David Frost each collected prizes of £100,000. Tottenham Hotspur eased the pressure on their manager Jerry Francis by beating Sheffield Wednesday at White Hart Lane. Their 3-2 victory was only their third in the FA Carling Premiership this season.
Without a league win since August, Tottenham's players were well aware that their underachievement meant that their manager Jerry Francis, already suffering from a bad back, was worrying about getting a stab in it as well. But the undeniable tension was lifted after only 6 minutes, courtesy of Pressman's failure to stop Dominguez's dipping shot. Wednesday might easily have been level soon after, but Tottenham's Walker proved more alert than his counterpart as Stefanovic threatened. But then, shortly before the interval, the Tottenham goal drought, just 6 in the league before today, turned into something of a flood. First, Campbell's challenge was deemed legitimate, to Armstrong's benefit. Then, with Wednesday rocking, David Ginola struck with the certainty of an arrow. 3-0, and now the managerial pressure was bearing down on Wednesday's David Pleat. His side responded better in the second half, and with 20 minutes left, Collins's faint nudge gave them a little hope. Then, with just 5 minutes to go, Paolo Di Canio put Tottenham back on edge with Wednesday's second. But to Francis's relief, they couldn't quite deny his side the victory. Kevin Geary, BBC News.
And tonight's main news again, the Chancellor Gordon Brown has said he won't be bounced into a statement clarifying the government's position on a single European currency. That's all from the BBC Newsroom tonight. From everyone here, good night.
Hello, good evening to you. The British Isles is being attacked from 2 directions at the moment. One weather front in the far north bringing a change to cooler air, cooler conditions, and quite a bit of rain coming up from the southwest, already reaching Devon and Cornwall, and there could be some heavier bursts of rain through the night. Now, before those 2 weather fronts meet up, just in here, there's some mist and fog with visibilities down as low as 100 metres, making some quite difficult driving conditions. Most of that fog will clear away in the second half of the night. Now, the winds are going to freshen up all the time through tonight and tomorrow, but where the skies do clear in the far north, the lighter winds here, we are going to see temperatures fall as low as -2, so a frost in parts of Scotland. Well, there's the area of high pressure and the low to the south. It won't have escaped your attention. Those tightly packed isobars mean some quite strong winds, those winds reaching gale force at times through tomorrow. A lot of cloud in the south, giving some outbreaks of rain from time to time as well. By the end of Monday afternoon into the evening period, the winds in the English Channel could be peaking at 50 to 60 miles an hour in the gusts. Much brighter further north, but a much cooler and fresher feel to the air. And the best temperature we can expect tomorrow, just 13 or 14 degrees, significantly cooler than it has been through the weekend. The forecast over the next few days keeps the high pressure in the north still rather breezy through Tuesday, with these weather fronts producing outbreaks of rain. But as we move into Wednesday, the winds begin to ease off, and that does mean during the night time with the clearer skies we're going to see quite a widespread frost, but some sunshine during the day, but increasing amounts of mistiness and fog during the mornings. That's the forecast. Have a good evening.
Can an optimist ever find true love with a pessimist? Al Pacino's going to give it his best shot with Michelle Pfeiffer on BBC Two in 10 minutes in the romantic film drama Frankie and Johnny.
In congratulating the BBC on their 75th birthday, I find it difficult to believe that I did my first broadcast in 1923, and in those days we worked in very cramped studios in Savoy Hill. I'm glad to think that I have worked so many years in radio because it's an interesting field. In those days we used to call it the wireless. And I would like to pay a belated tribute to my brother Val, who was head of drama at the BBC for many years and was generous and enthusiastic and helped me a great deal. I'm still rather sentimental and romantic-minded. I still rather like plays in which people wave handkerchiefs and fight duels for beautiful ladies.
Now on BBC One from director Steven Spielberg, tonight's multi-Oscar-winning network film premiere. A powerful and moving epic starkly reconstructing the horrors of the Holocaust. Filmed mainly in black and white and containing some strong language, Ben Kingsley, Ralph Fiennes and Liam Neeson star in Schindler's List. In just a moment on BBC One, Steven Spielberg talks about the lasting impression that the making of Schindler's List has had upon him. And that's followed in 15 minutes by a special edition of Heart of the Matter, in which Joan Bakewell talks to some of the people saved by Oskar Schindler, exploring the background to his story.
Behind every picture lies a story.
Dali's double images derive from this landscape.
He was horrified of the grasshoppers, but horrified.
There was this wonderful postcard with some natives sitting outside, and he turned it sideways and saw a face in it.
But none so strange as that of Salvador Dali.
They used to fill the bath with water, sit in there naked and draw.
Omnibus explores the man behind the image, a two-part special starting tomorrow and continuing Tuesday on BBC One.
Following on from Schindler's List, now on BBC One, Ben Kingsley talks to Steven Spielberg about the organisation he founded to create a permanent record of one of the darkest moments in human history.
What makes a masterpiece? A new series goes beneath the surface to understand the original intentions of the artist.
What we're trying to do is to recreate the colour of the sky before the blue discoloured.
And the changing nature of the materials they achieved it with.
Thanks to paint in a tube, Van Gogh uses brilliant greens that a 17th century artist would have killed for.
The director of the National Gallery presents Making Masterpieces, tomorrow at 7:30 on BBC Two.
Now on BBC One, in a Heart of the Matter special, Joan Bakewell looks at the complex personality of Oskar Schindler and asks whether fame has tarnished his human failings.